How was deadline day?
Interesting. Managed to get a couple in, as you know. But the whole month, to be honest, has been a bit of a pain. To be honest, getting led down the garden path by clubs and players, which is quite difficult. When the job's hard enough as it is. But ultimately, you want players who want to play for us. We've got enough of them now, so hopefully we'll have a good end to the season.
I think the big question on everybody's lips is, did you get any golf in?
No, I did debate, but there was other things going on. Watching the 23s playing, and I had to not so much protect going out, but I had to get something. So.
Let's talk about the two you did get in. Marcel Lewis. It's not too often Accrington Stanley have loaned players from Belgium. How does that come about?
Well, he was one of the most sought after lads out of the 23s league last year at Chelsea. Did really well last year. Poses an attacking threat. He's been quite unfortunate really, because I think the team he's gone to in Belgium, the top of the league in the top flight, so he's found it difficult to get into the team, but hopefully we can kickstart his career. And as you say, I can't ever remember taking a player on loan from abroad, so it's the first for him.
I did check. Podge Hammond from Portugal.
Did he come on loan, yeah?
Initially, yeah.
Paco Ferreira, was it?
Correct. Yeah. Well done, everyone.
Yes.
And
We did take another lad from Portugal, didn't we? We captured him on the mid-season break in Spain.
Mauro Almeida.
Correct, Mundo.
None of this is going in, I'm just showing how good I am at remembering the obscure standards.
Recall, yeah.
And very late in the day, in fact the following day, the forward ranks have been added to Corredi Odadei, and how did that one come about, and how much of a nervous wait was that?
Well, that had been ongoing for over a week, but we hadn't come to the arrangement that we did eventually come to until 9 o'clock on Monday night, and that's football now.
Is there ever a worry that it's not going to go through, that there's going to be some sort of hitch and the deal sheet's going to be wrong?
The problem that was that I think the system collapsed a couple of times, the EFL system, so or crashed is the technical term for it. So yeah, I'm pleased to get him over the line, and we're saying with us on Tuesday, and you can see how eager he is to do well, and that's the type of players that we need here. People who think they've got a point to prove, and he played against our 23s about 6 or 7 weeks ago and did really well, and so we have seen him first hand, and obviously he hasn't had a lot of football this year and he's ready to go. I
know attacking areas were a priority. Are you satisfied that you've improved that sufficiently?
Well, you never ever satisfied. The minute you get satisfied with your squad, you start going backwards, so you're always looking to improve on the squad. But we've still got good players here as well, people forget that. And you just need reinforcements for injuries and suspensions. But the good thing is now is it's competition. We've got a wealth of midfielders now who are all fighting to get in the team. Any one of them could play on the day, and that's what you want. When I had this conversation yesterday, the minute you think that's my starting 11, you haven't got a good squad. You shouldn't really know your starting 11 or your best 11. It should be the best 11 at any given time, and I think that's how you do develop good squads.
As far as keeping players is concerned, was that as big a priority as signing them?
Well, we have to be a selling club, so we don't make any bones about that. So if there would have been realistic offers for our players, they have to go, because we have to try and keep moving the club forward, and the only way you move the club forward is by an influx of funds, and that happens one of three ways, as everyone knows. You either get a rich owner who throws money at it, which doesn't have the longevity that you want. You'll have an unbelievable cup run, or you sell players. And the easiest way, I think, and the most realistic way is to sell players.
Does that suggest that there were unrealistic offers made?
No, we didn't have any offers for any of our players, which really surprised me, to be honest, because we've certainly got 3 or 4 who could grace the Premiership, in my opinion.
Injuries wise, I know you ended up playing for 45 minutes with no striker at the weekend.
Did I say Premiership then? Sorry, Championship. Maybe 1 in the Premiership.
Okay. You ended up playing for 45 minutes with no recognised centre forward. What's the situation with Colby Bishop?
We'll have to wait and see. When there'll be eyebrows raised, and to be honest, it was touch and go. We were put on. I was going to put Louis Mansell. I've got no problem putting Louis Mansell, and I explained this to him when he played for the 23s on Monday. I just thought it was going to be a physical battle in the second half at the Morecambe game, and that's why we decided to go with Jay instead of Louis. But it was no slight on Louis or Louis' ability. It was just a decision that was made tactically, and you don't always get them right. In hindsight now, possibly should have put a striker on, a recognised striker, because we'd have been more of a goal threat. But the way the game was going, it was looking as though the wind was going to take a big factor in the game, and it was going to be an aerial bombardment that we had to pick up second balls. We don't really like playing like that, but sometimes you get forced to play like that. Are
you always learning? Would you do that again? Would you put Bagley on as a centre forward again?
No, if I had my time again, I would have put Louis on. And I explained that to Louis. But you only get the decision to make once, and you got to make it, and that's what you get paid for. And you don't always get them right, and on that occasion, I think I got that one wrong.
Bishop aside, are things looking up on the injury front? I noticed Keneally Morgan played in the reserves.
Yeah, they're both pushing for places now in the first 11, which is good. I don't think Joe will be too far away. Young Reece has been doing a bit more training as well. And then we're just fingers crossed on Colby. We got good news from the scan. It wasn't ligament damage, that was pleasing.
As far as the game you've got this weekend, league table wise, it doesn't come more difficult than going to Rotherham, does it, at the moment?
Every game you go, when you go away from home, is difficult. Every game you play is difficult as well. It's an unforgiving league. And you watch a host of the games on Tuesday. I did watch quite a bit of it. And teams are capable at this level, and you've just got to be at it. You've got to be at it every single game. And Saturday you could be playing the top of the league, or you could be playing the bottom of the league. They still pose problems. Just sometimes different ones, and different ones that you've got to address. But these are the games that we like. We relish the challenge. We like planning for it. We like studying the opposition. I watched a lot of the game on Tuesday night, and coming up with a plan that you think you can use to defeat them. And that way to not so long back. Was that possibly our last win? Was it? Yeah. So there you go.
There won't be many teams, because you beat them in the League Cup as well, have beaten Rotherham twice this season.
Twice. I said twice.
Given all that they've achieved this season so far and all the performances they've had, I know the last one doesn't necessarily, make any difference to the one that you're playing now, but psychologically, can that help that you've been there and won and you've beaten them here?
Well, as you say, the previous games have absolutely no bearing on Saturday's game, but the fact is that we know we can beat them. That's not saying we will beat them, but we know we can beat them because we have them.
What makes them stand out? That there's so many teams vying up there, they just appear to have pulled away a little bit.
I think they're well organised, got a good manager, like Paul, like the way he wants his business. They've got good players, and they're comfortable in the system that they play. Everyone knows the jobs, and they're effective at it. And they were very effective during night against Doncaster.
What does it say about the stakes in this division that Sunderland have sacked the manager and they were in third place at the time?
Just like this vision then of medium rare. No, it's odd. Managerials coming and going very. I shouldn't be surprised, but it does surprise me. You saw Grant McCann go when he had a couple of great wins at Hull. You see Lee Johnson go when he's third in the league. Even going back to Paul Cook going when they'd had it. They were probably fifth in the current form table, sixth. 17 points out of 10. So, not surprising in football anymore, or should surprise you, but it continues to. And as you say, everyone's buying for that leap to get into the Championship, which puts you in the raffle for the ultimate prize, doesn't it, which is the Premiership.
Do you notice the difference when you come up against these teams who are in contention up there, as far as the amount they're willing to commit, you know, what they're spending on their squad and the setups of the clubs, or is it much the same from week to week because there's so many big clubs in this division?
There's so many big clubs. The thing that's pleased me most is that we've competed with every team we've played this season. We haven't always had the best of results, and you know, we've leaked goals at times that you're scratching your head thinking why. But we've always been in the game, even against the top sides. You know, you go back to Rotherham, Sunderland, competed with them well, and that's all we can ask for. And then you need a little bit of luck along the way. But you've got to put the effort in to try and match them first. And I don't think anybody can criticise our effort, the effort that the players put in.
You've drawn a lot of games lately. Can that be costly?
It can. You know me, you've known me over the years. Winning draws are a recipe for disaster, particularly at home. And we've got to find a way to turn the draws into wins. It's always better to get a draw than get beat. And it's not as if you try to turn the defeats into draws. Now it's time to go another step further. And I think our performances have merited wins. You don't always get them. I think we should have won Saturday. I think everybody who was at the game would echo them sentiments. But you don't always get what you do.
And clean sheets, you had a spell where you didn't have one for a long time, then you had a few in a row, and I think you've gone 4 without now. Is that the defensive situation creeping back in, or is it just coincidence?
It's coincidence, and it's a little bit of luck as well. You know, I think the last 4 goals we've conceded at the WAM have been deflections. And you look at James Stafford's last 3 games for us and his first 3 for Bolton. Sometimes things go well for you, don't they? You know, James is a very good goalkeeper who we recognised, that's why we brought him in. But things just sometimes go in your favour.